Welcome to Heavy Petting with Cheri Hardman. Today's guest is Culver Louis. Hello, Culver. How are you?
I'm great, Cheri. How are you?
Fabulous. Would you introduce me to your friend right here?
This is Dexter, and he has some nicknames too. Also, Mr. Handsome or Mr. Perfect, because he has a high opinion of himself. So
Is he named after the serial killer?
he is when he was born. He's 8. He was born April 11th of 2012. I was immersed in the first season of Dexter, and so yeah.
Did you get where did you get him from? Or
Oh, so Dexter is the pup of my sister. Emmy was her pup, and her good friend had another Shih Tzu named Pancho, and so they got together. And Dexter was the biggest of the bunch, and so I had a video of him being born and pictures right after he was born. And when I went to pick him up in May, towards the end of May, I already knew he was mine and had given him a name. So,
what was
yeah.
it like? What was it like the first day you brought him home?
Oh my gosh. Well, I had to fly him back from Chicago. And so it was kind of scary, honestly, because the dogs with the little noses can have breathing problems on planes. But I went there in May, but I was there for a couple months. So he came into my life during a really tough time. The weekend I was going to meet him, my mom got diagnosed with a stage 3 cancer, and my grandma died of a heart attack. So,
Oh my gosh.
he came into my life during a really tough time and made it easier because he's just such a sweetie. At least to me, he's a shit to everyone else, but to me, he's just a sweetie.
Is he?
Yeah, he tends to think everyone's up to no good, and he thinks he's much bigger than he is, like a lot of little ones.
So he's a barker, basically.
A growler. He'll sit and shake and growl. But the first time I met him, Cheri, was so cute because he ran up to the door. I was walking into my sister's house and he started wagging his tail, but he was so little that his whole back of his body moved, and he developed his first nickname, which was Booty, because he had this little booty, which my daughter would kill me for saying, but that was her nickname too when she was little.
So I see you have a picture of him on your shirt.
I do. This was a Christmas present, and Dexter has a picture of me. So I am a weirdo. I fully acknowledge that.
That is hilarious.
I love my dogs like children. You know, I'm one of those who definitely loves.
Do you guys actually wear those out in public?
You know, we have, and people get a reaction. I've only worn it a couple times. But I love it. It was a gift, and it was just the coolest one. I was like, oh my God, this is the best thing ever.
I would imagine that would draw a little attention when you're out.
Oh, yeah. Well, and you know, especially after he gets groomed, he's been pretty upset because with the coronavirus, he hasn't been able to, go to his normal groomer. The appointments are so backed up. I even talked about it going to Olympia a couple months ago. He was ready to protest. It was terrible. He's like, I want a haircut, damn it. But he's just a sweetheart. I couldn't say it enough.
He's very, very cute. So does he, have you trained him to do any tricks, or does he have any weird quirks or anything?
He is a vegetable eater like I've never seen a dog do. So this his big special trip is he's like basically a sheep or a goat or something. He'll just eat his way through roughage. So lettuce, carrots, greens, any greens. He goes just absolutely bonkers for bananas, apples. But as far as tricks, he's more of a physical being than a deep thinker.
That's funny. So if he could write a review for you as an owner, what would he say?
Probably the same thing that my human kid would say, which is I'm a bit of a helicopter parent. I haven't offered him enough freedom probably to explore. He likes to wander. His mom was like that too. Get that front door, they take off to run down the street and see what's going on.
Yeah.
And he's not friendly, so that's what's funny. He's not going to meet people. He's going to piss them off or something.
He thinks he has a job to do. He's got to clean this world up, I guess.
That's right. I mean, but uh, with me in mind, I think he's definitely a dedicated. I hope that my when I'm elderly, I hope my daughter has the dedication that this pup has to me. It doesn't put me in a crap home.
Uh, all right, so you can put him down if you want. If you want to keep holding him, go ahead. But we're going to move on here. We're going to talk about people things now. So I always have to explain the theme of the show, heavy petting. Back in my day, that's what we called making out or going to second or third base, right? And so for heavy petting the show, that includes anything from dating to relationships to sex or whatever. Do you have any heavy petting stories that you'd like to share with us?
I was going back to my adolescent years, and which has been a hot minute. And I thought of one that, oh, sorry, Dexter's getting caught in the mic. There you go, bud. I thought of one that was kind of funny that goes back to the summer of 1990, and I just turned 16 and had really just started dating, like where you're going out places and making out and stuff. And I was dating this girl, and she was really cute. Incidentally, she had really bad breath, though, but that's like liver sausage. But I don't want to disparage anybody, but that's one of the things I remembered about this evening. I was like, oh, girl. But, back then when you're that age, you'd rub up against a tree, So we're making out, and we're at my best friend, still my best friend, Emily's house, and we're on her bed, and our other friends are out in the living room. Things are getting a little bit more, they're moving forward. Not where I thought I was going to have sex. I wasn't that lofty, but, things were moving forward. We were moving through the bases more quickly than normal. And the next thing you know, one of our friends, his name was Jeff, starts peeking in the window outside and knocking on the window. He's just knocking on the window. And then the next thing you know, someone else is looking in the window. So you can imagine she's really, this is starting to become a distraction, right? Well, you want to know what killed the mood? Emily comes bursting through the door and she says, "It smells like pussy in here." And you can imagine that was the end of that heavy petting. After that, she was like that.
Oh, the stuff kids do, like, wow.
Yeah, it was really, it's funny because when I remembered it, I was like thinking how pissed off I was at them. I think for 2 or 3 days after, fuck those guys. Oh, yeah.
What's the best compliment anyone's ever given your naked body?
Wow, it's not as bad as I thought it would be.
That is not the first time I've heard that on this show. People need to up their naked compliment game.
Well, I think that people, at least some of us who are even drawn into trying comedy and looking at comedy and things, I don't know if it's always because of our robust self-esteem or if we're trying to work some shit out, maybe.
Right. That's true.
Yeah, and I've also been married for 21 years, so I don't get a lot of compliments anymore.
Yeah. They're just, yeah, I know the feeling.
Yeah, it's like, oh, you again, huh? I'm like, look, I'm the only game in town. I don't know what to fucking tell you.
All right, so if somebody were wanting to find you, is there anywhere they can find you?
I'm on Facebook at Culver Louis. That's it. I don't do anything else. My Twitter just is too much for me emotionally.
I know, it's all getting to be too much. You hanging in there through all this? You doing okay?
I'm doing okay. I'm one of the lucky people who's been able to keep working. And I already was set up for that because I worked at home a few days a week anyway already. So I'm grateful things have been not changed a lot for us in that way. But of course, I miss seeing people and going places, and I don't feel totally safe doing that yet. You know, I know a lot of people are going out and they're doing things, but I might come into contact with someone who, if I've contracted it and not know it, I could hurt them. And so I've been hesitant to go places, and I'm waiting to feel good about that again. I want to see people again. I want to go see live comedy. I want to go to the damn movies or to happy hour and have a freaking taco, but I don't want to hurt anybody. So it's been intense, you know, and then of course all the broader stuff going on politically. It's hard to watch all of it right now and feel optimistic, but you know, I think that ultimately we're going to get through it. So I'm just trying to stay positive. We're ultimately going to get through it.
Right. Yeah.
How are you holding up?
Well, we all got to do stuff to take care of ourselves, you know. So like my son and I, we're like phase 4 kind of people. So we're parked here for quite a while. And, you know, mostly I'm worried because I've needed a haircut since March. So.
Well, you know, there's one way my wife is lucky. I used to cut hair 100 years ago.
Oh, wow.
I haven't cut hair since 1995 professionally, but I mean, I'm able to hold down the fort here. So
that's nice. Yeah, my husband's talking about shaving my son, his hair, shaving his head and my son's head. And I'm like, I don't know that I really want to see you like that. So I don't know.
Hey, tell him if he still has his pinhead of hair and he willingly shaves it off, some of us die a little bit inside. We're like, what?
I know. I got halfway through that story, and then I looked at you and like, maybe I shouldn't.
Hey, look, if you can't laugh at your own bald head, right? I shine that shit like Montel now. I'm like, I'm so glad there were some guys who pulled it off really well.
Yeah.
But, you know, my problem has been you can pull that off if you have a little bit of complexion to you that's not pasty.
Oh.
So to be fat and bald and white, it's a combination of flour and paste.
It also depends on the shape of your dome. And like if you have that little fat looks like a package of hot dogs on the back of your neck.
I hope I'm not working on that. I can't see the back of my head, but I'm scared of that. I've got to tell you the truth.
I know if I was a man, I would definitely have that. So.
Well, and I just, you know, of course, I'm coping like a lot of people do. One of my biggest hobbies is cooking. So I just keep cooking and cooking and cooking. And so I think I'm working on it probably. But you know, we got to do the things that make us feel good and keep us optimistic and happy. And, you know, one of the things for me is always taking care of, like, I'm a Minnesotan, so force feeding people is in my DNA. You know, I'm a Midwesterner. Right. Like, fucking eat. You eat.
Food is love. I get it.
Yeah, I know. So it's like, that's been my thing this whole time, is cooking and waiting to see people again. And I was like, God, I want to have like a dinner party. I love doing that. I love, you know, just having people over. And I had a couple friends over and they all wore masks, you know, and everyone from their distance, and we were able to do it. But it's hard to say it doesn't feel awkward. But it was so nice to see people.
I know. And it almost feels like, you know, like it's like asking someone to wear a condom. Like if you're really intimate with them, it feels like an insult, but it's not. Everybody's just trying to be safe, you know?
Yeah. And I mean, it's, of course, like everything becomes fucking political. Like, Jesus, Martha, a pandemic being political is making my head spin. I'm just like, can we all just be human for 5 seconds? And be like, wow, people we love could get harmed from this. Let's not be assholes. I mean, it seems like I wish that we could be human for once. And this was a time I was optimistic for 2 seconds that was going to happen. But then if you look on any social media or watch the news, you realize how naive that is.
Yes, I know.
That little shred of hippie left in me from when I was young. That's like, oh, come on, man, we'll all do it.
I know. Well, thank you for doing this with me. This was a lot of fun. Can't wait to see your face in like person again.
Oh, me too. I was bummed to see. I saw Unmentionables got kicked back again from Bob's, but I mean, I know you have to do it. I mean, we have to be safe.
I was going to do it at Tacoma Comedy Club. They had me on the schedule in April. And so I was excited about that, like venue, but you know, it is what it is. So
It's gonna come back. I mean, we're gonna things are, you know, it's gonna happen. People have to not be so damn assholey. Just
yeah.
like just stay, chill out. It's gonna be okay if you don't go. Like I was driving down 6th Ave. Lori and I share a car because we both, our offices are within 2 miles of our house, and so I needed the car that day. I went to pick her up, and there was like crowds of kids just, you know, at all the bars where they're opened up, and I was like, you know, I'm not mad at them for doing it. I've been 25. I wouldn't have wanted to sit at home every day either. I mean, I get it.
Right.
But I was just like, man, I hope you guys don't get sick, because now we're hearing 30-year-olds. We're hearing 28. I mean, we're hearing younger people are getting this, and that it's morphing a little bit. So I'm
right.
You know, like, we just got to stop not believing reality.
I know.
Like, I know it's uncomfortable.
Yeah, believe me, we know.
It is nice to see you, and I miss seeing you live on stage. And yeah, I hope we all get to get out and have fun soon.
I know. All right. Well, thank you
Thanks
very much
for having me. A lot of fun.
What's on her mind? She's a big, big girl in a skinny woman's world. Now she's a big, big girl in a skinny woman's world. Now she's a big, big girl, big, big girl.